This is something called a Smith machine. Smith machines are used for giving you a spot, especially if you're working out in the gym alone. And it does take a lot of the effort out of lifting because you don't have to balance. You're essentially on an X-axis with this connected to the steel. And the good thing is, even if it's an easier movement, the beauty is when you get to a position of exhaustion. If you get to a position of exhaustion or fatigue, you can rack the weights without needing a spotter. Or worst case scenario, you've got the metal blocks to save you in case you drop everything. So everyone should be pushing for a 1 rep max. That's a maximum lift at the end of your peak, usually about 3 months. Some people it's 1 month, but if you don't have a spotter, the Smith machine will help you get to that point, whether you do squatting or if you're doing bench, overhead press. It can be used in all applications, but you do take a little bit of the balance away, so sometimes proprioceptive exercises would be important just so you can have a little bit of input from the ankles, the knees, the back when you're handling free weight. But that's without machines or without poles. But in this case where you want to do a max, I think it's a nice combination. So some of you might be wondering, just in case you don't know what 1 rep max is, usually when you're weight training or running or practicing yoga or Tai Chi, you can become very good at what you do. I think the body has its way to become very efficient with its movements. The problem would be if you're trying to build muscle or get lean, cut back, decrease body fat, you'll have to push every once in a while. And one of the things I've noticed with even marathon runners is they have an efficiency of their running that they find with decreased expenditure of energy, and yet just getting by, whether it's getting by to finish the race or maybe doing a personal best. But the objective, if you want to get a good time and increase your PR, is to do that. You get past the run, become efficient with your movements, train, maximize on nutrition and rest. But if you're trying to build muscle, I think muscle becomes hypertrophic or bigger when you stress it. So it would be push fail. Usually when you do that and you schedule it on a regular basis, like I think maxing out with weight training or resistance training every 3 months is what I would do. That's why I have that challenge of 3 months or 12 weeks to change, because I think it gives you a long enough schedule where you can kind of spread out the pain or the workouts, and at the same time you still have a goal. It's not too distant. I think sometimes we get a little bit frustrated when you have lofty goals. If you say you're going to lose 100 pounds and you just set out to do it, I mean, that's good intention, but you got to really be realistic. Otherwise, you'll get into this cycle where you lose weight and then maybe you give up. Lose weight and give up. So I really like to have, if you're going to expend some energy and put some effort into this, plan it out, attack it aggressively, and then pull back and see what happens with the results. But 1 rep max is when you get to maximum lift, strict form in the movement that you're trying to do, whether it's the squatting I was doing with the Smith machine or bench press. Usually Olympic weightlifting or powerlifting movements will get you there, and usually it's stacking up those maximum lifts to an eventual either competition or you hit your goal and then you replan after that. It's a little bit harder of a tangible goal when you're a runner, when you're a swimmer, when you're a cyclist, but I think it's still there. Definitely when you're in yoga, you go with a teacher and you find a teacher that's challenging, and usually that teacher will mix it up all the time. Otherwise, it becomes boring. So 1 rep max. In addition to stimulating muscle every once in a while, you got to keep up your cardio, you got to keep up your flexibility, nutrition, and sleep. So all those factors always have to be maintained while you get to your max.